So hello and welcome to my very first, official YouTube video after my channel trailer. And I thought I'd give you a bit of a rundown as to how my last 6 months on carnivore have been. Now, I actually started a low carb lifestyle in 2018, the summer of 2018, when I came across the keto diet. I came across keto by pure chance, I guess. I was using Lifesum to track my food, and I was sick and tired of having to constantly track my food and keep on top of my macros and make sure I eat the right amount of carbohydrates and blah, 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 and all that crap. And I guess a lot of people sort of struggle with that, to stay on top of their macros, and then they feel like they can't eat because their macros are telling them that they've eaten too much or what have you. So I came across the diet because I was actually looking on Lifesum through the sort of guide and diet section, and ketogenic diet showed up, and I thought, I wonder what this is. So I clicked on it, had a bit of a read, and obviously the initial thought was, well, this can't work because there's no carbohydrates in it. And carbohydrates are obviously something that we need for our life, for, carbohydrates are essential. They're important for survival. How wrong I was, but I guess that comes down to my lack of understanding, of nutritional understanding. And I guess a lot of people are in a very similar boat. They sort of don't quite understand nutrition and believe that carbohydrates are essential. Diet has been something that I've struggled with ever since I was a kid. I mean, I came to the UK, I was 95 kilos when I came to the UK. I'm 6'2", 188 centimeters. The worst was in 2011 when I was 102 kilos. I mean, 102 kilos, that's, I think it's like near enough 16 stone. And I was a whale, I was a giant. And at the time I didn't really realize it, but diet, I could just never get my diet right. I always struggled eating the right things, never understood carbohydrates, proteins, fats. I was obviously brought up on the mindset that fats are just bad for you and all fat's bad and don't touch fat and just stay away from it. What's the point of sort of eating it? Stick to lean protein, stick to all that crap. I was eating egg whites all the time. I was cutting the yolk out, which obviously was the worst thing I could have done. But I could never get my diet right, no matter what I ate, and then no matter what I sort of put in my mouth, I was always overweight, I was always on the top end. And the worst thing is, no matter what diet plan I was given, I would always stick to it. But because I couldn't lose the weight, my coach just thought I was cheating them, I was cheating the club, I was cheating everyone. And that's obviously not their fault, because they have a similar nutrition understanding to most people. They just don't understand calories, they don't understand sort of that not every calorie is the same, and they just believe calories in versus calories out. There's sort of a saying in football that you come back a bit overweight in pre-season and you'll just run it off. That's the sort of general concept. And whilst that works to a degree, it's not the whole truth. I mean, I understand calories in versus calories out, and there has to be a deficit, but at the same time, calories are different. Carbohydrate calories are different to fat calories, to protein calories, and your body just processes them differently. So that's always been something I've struggled with. And yeah, as I mentioned, in the summer of 2018, I came across keto and I thought, you know what, I've got to give it a try. And the reason I thought I'd give it a try is because no matter what I've done so far in my life hasn't worked. And as Albert Einstein says, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And unfortunately, that's exactly what I was doing. So I thought, you know what, I've got nothing to lose yet, I might as well try something else. The first people I came across were Dr. Peter Attia. His podcast is tremendous. It's an incredible resource for anybody interested in low carb and just general life stuff. Some of the people he interviews are just amazing on it. And he made a lot of sense with a lot of the stuff he was saying. A lot of the things he came out with, I thought, you know what, this actually makes sense about sort of how the body works, how ketosis works, ketone bodies, how the liver processes everything and so on. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to investigate this a little bit further. And the more I read, the more people I came across, the more everything started to fall into place. For me personally, maybe keto isn't 100% the right way, because I still had to track my macros and I still felt a bit restricted by the diet, because I felt like I was never able to hit my fat macros. I was always able to hit everything else, but I always went over either on my protein or I was not, eating enough fat and so on. And I could never find the foods that I enjoyed with keto. So I ended up sort of researching further, because that's just the way I am. I always end up researching stuff, and for whatever reason I came across Dr. Sean Baker. And again, I don't really know how I came across his sort of YouTube channel or Instagram or whatever, but I did come across it. I think Thomas DeLauer did a bit of a sort of carnivore challenge, 30-day carnivore challenge, but nothing ever really sort of clicked. I just saw that name thrown about and I thought, you know what, I'll have a look into this. And sort of similar to when I first started on keto, eating just meat or animal products only didn't really make sense, because I thought I'm gonna get sick, I'm gonna get, ill, where's my vitamins coming from and all this. But similar to what happened with keto, the more I investigated stuff, the more things started to make sense. And I realized that there was a great big community out there, and there are people who have been doing it for years and feel absolutely fine doing it. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do it for 30 days and see how I feel. I ended up just buying a load of ground beef, cooking it in butter and eating it. And do you know what? I thought I felt good on keto. I thought I felt really good, from a mental standpoint. And then all of a sudden that, carnivore just took me to another level. I was able to fast involuntary, I guess, because I was just always full and satiated from fat. I've stopped tracking my macros. I lost a load of weight. My overall well-being went up, my sleep went up and what have you. I mean, to give you a bit of perspective on my numbers, I used to weigh 95 kilos. I think I weighed 95 kilos when I was born, to be honest with you. Now my weight fluctuates between 89 and 90 kilos. I've lost 5 kilos and my body fat is down to 5.5% according to the Jackson Pollock sort of 7-point measurement thing. I know it's not the most accurate way of measuring body fat, but it just gives you a bit of a difference and you can see how your body's changing, whether it's going up or down. And as I said, according to that number, I'm 5.5% according to the skin fold. So I've never been 5.5%. I've never even been in the top 5 of a football club. And all of a sudden I'm at 5.5% and I think I'm third lowest when it comes to body fat. I'm obviously also doing exercise. So I've increased my gym routine. So these two probably go hand in hand. But the one thing I have noticed is that I have calculated my macros and all I'm trying to do is hit my macros when it comes to protein, but it actually happens naturally without me necessarily needing to track it. Whatever I eat and the way I'm losing body fat and weight, it just hits my macros all the time anyway. So it's not something I need to keep, open MyFitnessPal every day. I do it for my sanity, for the sake of it, because I like numbers. I also track my fasts because I like looking at numbers and I like seeing progress. But at the same time, I don't necessarily need to, because I know exactly what I eat, when I eat, and all that stuff ends up working really well together, and it sort of naturally fills in everything on its own. I'm so happy that I'm on carnivore now, and the last 6 months have been brilliant, and I genuinely cannot think of a better lifestyle. And you can probably tell by how excited I am talking about this, but it's just an amazing lifestyle. And I guess that's why I created the YouTube channel. I want to share that passion, that knowledge that I'm gonna gain. I mean, I don't know everything obviously because I'm still learning about carnivore. It's only been 6 months. But anyway, that's it for me for now. Thank you ever so much for watching. I know I've rambled on a bit, but make sure you subscribe and like the video as well. And also don't forget to check out my social media channels, both my Twitter and my Instagram. And also have a look at my subreddits and my Facebook. All of the links will be in the description below. And I also have a spreadsheet link below where I keep all my sort of resources when it comes to carnivore, because there are far too many people to mention who have helped me. There are far too many books, podcasts, and training regimes that are out there just to mention in one podcast. So make sure you sort of have a look at that spreadsheet. I'm happy to share it and all the links will be there. But anyway, that's it from me for now. Thanks again for watching and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.